Toscano is a short film directed by Scott Dunbar. It's a neo-noir revenge story about a guy who comes home to find his cousin laying there dead. He takes it upon himself to track down who the killer was, goes after him, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put a link to the film down below so you can check it out and find out what happens for yourself. Now, normally this isn't the kind of film that I review. Obviously, normally I do movies that are big cinema releases, that sort of thing. But the reason I'm doing this is because I checked out this short film the other day and I was so completely impressed. And it's kind of a case of not only do I want everyone to see it, but if you're an up-and-coming filmmaker, this is a really important piece to check out because this is one example of young filmmakers getting it done right. With a running time of 7.5 minutes, it's not a particularly long film, but it told the story perfectly. This is a beautiful example of great writing in as much as starting your story where it needs to start, not having a whole bunch of extraneous information beforehand. It nailed it. And aside from that, I was really impressed at the fact that the entire story was told without any dialogue whatsoever. So the cinematography in the film was gorgeous. Like I said, it was done in a neo-noir style, so the whole film's in black and white, save for one scene that had a splash of color which was put to really great effect. But everything from the camera movement to the composition of the shots was bang on. Not only that, the editing was absolutely fantastic. There were no faults whatsoever in the cuts, and it also did some great use of cutting to flashbacks in certain ways, which I thought were really well done. And one more thing which I thought was really impressive was the use of locations in the film. You know, a lot of times with student films, and believe me, I am absolutely guilty of it myself, you know, people just tend to use whatever is around, you know, they don't really put a lot of thought into the locations. But in this flick, I kind of thought the locations really added to the mood and the atmosphere. I mean, the shootout in the boathouse area, I thought just looked visually great. And the final scene, you know, out on a wharf over the water, yeah, everything just looked like it had a lot of attention put into it. And that was something I thought was really commendable. The music in the film was entirely sourced from the Sicario soundtrack. Now, look, it's understandable, you know, when you're young and you're making a film like this, you don't have an orchestra at your disposal. You know, a lot of people don't have the ability to actually make their own music. So they did a great job of sourcing just the right tracks though. I mean, it wasn't a case of just grabbing any old music will do or anything like that. They really paid a lot of attention and used music that enhanced the scenes perfectly well. The special effects in the film, such as blood splats, gunshots, and bullet holes, I gotta hand it to you guys, you did a great job. I mean, you know, it's quite easy these days to grab stuff off the net, but I guess with the black and white as well, it just really made it look a bit more believable, and again, it was put to really good use. It got the job done. And one thing I am going to applaud you on is your choice of font in the film. You know, this is one thing that is particular to me, is the use of fonts in things, because particularly with short films, you know, people just use any old font, and half the time it just looks really cheap, like they've just kind of, you know, chosen from like 5 fonts and gone, that'll do. But the fonts used in this film for the credits had such a 50s noir kind of believable feel to it and just added to the movie experience. So I gotta hand it to you. Well done for picking the right font. So if I had to pick any criticisms whatsoever, it's just a very minor one. I'd just say maybe the performances in the film were probably could have been a little bit more believable. They were really good, don't get me wrong, but you know, and I'm guessing that the director was probably operating the camera as well, and this is one of these cases where it's actually good to have someone else doing that so you can focus on the performances. But look, it's just a very, very minor gripe. I mean, you know, I thought they were great for the purposes of the film, and I'm gonna give Toscano a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm going to put a link to the film in the description box and also on my end card at the end of the video. Make sure you check it out. Like I said, it's not a long film. It's definitely worth checking out, and particularly if you're an up-and-coming filmmaker, if you're a student filmmaker, what these guys have done is extraordinary. And yeah, if you're into filmmaking, you could definitely learn a lot from what they did. And guys, absolutely great job. Well done. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with next. So keep at it. Keep practicing, keep improving, because, I mean, God, if you've come this far already, you're seriously going to go far. So if you've clicked the link and if you've checked out the movie, let me know what you thought of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All my social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.